Terjement kung saan sila nagaling.
Takes the president even very strong.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat mga kaibigan. Isang pagkakataong mapag-usapan ng malaliman ang isang paksa na malapit sa puso ng mga Pilipino. May kinalaman po ito sa mga batingaw ng Balangiga. At mahalaga ito sapagkat sino ba may-ari nito, bakit napunta sa Amerika, anong mga batas ang nararapat kilalanin para maibalik ito sa Pilipinas? Meron bang batas? May karapatan ba ang Pilipino sapagkat sa kasaysayan ng mga digmaan, kung sino ang nagwawagi, tangay lahat, pati kababaihan at kabataan na ginagawang alipin. Magandang umaga, Sky.
Good morning, magandang Monday morning po sa inyo lahat. And syempre, very special po yung mga guests natin for today. And sobrang very interesting na pag-usapan itong Balangiga Bells na ito. Kasi nga, nung hindi ko inabot to di ba inabot mo to?
Hindi rin.
Pero yun nga, kung sino talaga yung, paano natin makukuha ulit, sino ba talaga yung nagmamay-ari nitong mga bells na ito. Kasi ever since our past presidents have been trying to get it, di ba? Kung paano makuha ulit. So ngayon, sana malaman natin kung tayo ba talaga pa rin ang may-ari ng bells na ito.
Incidentally, hindi naman sa ina-advertise ko, in one forum that I attended with Ambassador Goldberg at the time, he was asked what does he do during his free time. One is watch movies and read books. The other is read books. And he was asked, what books have you read recently? Well, one of them is Honor in the Dust by Greg Jones. This chronicles what happened during the Filipino-American War and how the Americans played with Filipinos. Dinownplay nila yung paghihimagsik ng mga Pilipino at sinabing ito gawa-gawa lamang ng mga bandido at iba pa. So we will talk about it. We're joined today by former DFA Secretary and a good friend since the 1990s, Perfecto Yasay Jr. At narito rin ang ating kaibigan si Pepe Alas, isang history expert at the same time isang blogger tungkol sa
natin dito,
Philippinism.
self-taught history writer.
Yes,
ano
of
bang
course.
ibig sabihin ng self-taught history writer?
Yan. Pero let's listen to Secretary Yasay. Ano po ba ang tingin ninyo dito sa issue ng Balangiga Bells?
Sa akin, ang issue ay maybe we should no longer look into the legal argument or even the moral argument about who owns these bells. Because sa ating pananaw, talagang atin yan ang issue na lang natin gagawin dito ay titignan natin kung dapat bang isa sa uli ng mga Amerikano yung bells na yan. And I think they should. I think they should because the basis for their having this as what people have described as the spoils of war does not really apply to this particular situation. Ito yung bells na to, these are civilian bells, these are even religious icons. They have never been used in the insurgency war, as America would put it, sa atin naman, in the rebellion that the Philippines waged against America during that time. September 28, 1901. Itong bells na ito ay civilian bells, religious icon. They cannot be justified to be confiscated as the spoils of war. So on that basis, the legal argument about whether America or the Philippines own it will weigh heavily against the Americans. The other thing is that ito ay sinunog ng Amerika yung convent bakit nasunog ng American convent? Instead of staying in military headquarters that they should have put up, they decided to stay in the church itself. They used the church as part of their headquarters, and that's precisely the reason why the attack that was made by the brave Filipinos who felt that their rights were being offended were directed against the Americans who were also positioned in the church. Now, to me, the most important thing now is to consider 1901, napakalayo yun. When we will tackle the issue about these bells being returned, and I think they should be returned forthwith, it should not be used as an argument that will open or expose old wounds or expose ugly scars that have already been forgotten. Yung old wounds yan have already healed. We are just simply, in this present time and age, saying, America, isaulin nyo na because even under international law, you have no right to keep these bells. So, yun lamang ang ating sinasabi. The return of these bells will recognize our mutual respect for each other and uphold the dignity of our respective peoples.
Eh bakit po sa pagkatagal-tagal na panahon, hindi pa talaga nababalik? If it's in accordance with the international law and all this, na atin talaga yung bells na to. What happened in the process?
Dahil ang issue dito, maybe from even from the viewpoint of many Americans and many Filipinos, became political instead of legal. Naging emotional ang issue na yan eh. Yeah, the Americans on one hand say that we have to have this because this is a fitting memorial for our soldiers who gallantly defended themselves against the Philippine insurgents that fought them. On the other hand, tayo naman, it's also a fitting memorial for our gallant Filipinos who stood up against a foreign invader. And this to me shows na under the circumstances, ay sino at anong dapat natin gagawin? Ay, proposal nga si President President Ramos noon na bakit hindi na lang tayo gumawa ng a replica of these bells? Yung original, ibalik nyo sa amin, ibigay nyo yung replica. We will certify that this is a replica of those bells that you could keep as a memorial. But that memorial should be used, again, not to open old wounds, but to dramatize precisely that from the ashes of that Balangiga incident on September 28, 1901, rose a good relationship and friendship between the Americans and Filipinos.
On the other hand, pasalamat tayo, Amerikano nakakuha nun. Dahil sa kung iba, baka tinunaw na. Ano? Di ba?
Nabenta na.
Nabenta na. Anong pananaw mo rito, Pepe? Yes, please.
I support Mr. Yasay's stand on this issue. Those bells, of course, are ours. They were stolen. The Americans now, the international community who have had experience in military warfare, they call such items as war booty or war trophies. But yeah, from a moral standpoint, that should not be the case. They should be returned. But the problem here is that, well, if you search in the internet, there have been many groups that have been clamoring for the return of our bells. No, I think there are more or less 10 such groups, and even U.S. veterans. They are actually willing to return the bells. The problem is, I think there should be, according to them, there should be may mga legal proceedings pa na gagawin. So what happened just a few days ago when President Duterte, in his SONA stated that the bells should be returned. They are ours, he's correct. But aside from making such speeches, in my opinion, I think he should also make a formal written request to have those bells returned. Talagang meron talagang dokumento na kinukuha natin. Not just yung sabi nga ni Mr. Yasay na may mga emosyon na dating. Several years ago, I think that was during the time of Ramos, there was a resolution made by former Senator Aquilino Pimentel Jr. to have the bells returned. And there is also a U.S. Congressman, I forgot his first name, is Rora Backer, I think. He also made a resolution in the States to have the bells returned. They are willing, but then there were some periodicals or newspapers, local newspapers, when Ramos declared to have the bells, that he has the intention of the bells
Being returned to Manila.
they were they were declared in news reports. Medyo yung mga US veterans doon, some of them are even descendants of those who were massacred in Balangiga. They were hurt na parang kasi sa kanila, they were the ones who were attacked. The US troops who were sent to Balangiga, they were sent there. Hindi naman sila talaga yung sinasabi raw nila na hindi naman daw sila ng api ng mga taga-Samar. More or less, sa mga nabasa kong dokumento, hindi nga eh. Even actually the colonel of that Company C, 9th Infantry, he was a Catholic. He was even more Catholic than the local priest. Mas mapait pa siya, and he sided even with the natives of Balangiga na kinasasama pa ng loob ng mga sundalo niya. Nag-uusap-usap pa yung mga sundalo niya noon na parang mas kampi pa sa mga taga-Balangiga itong kapitan natin. So yun yung stand ng mga US veterans na it was the Filipinos who attacked first, which is true.
Okay. All right. Secretary Yasay, let me ask you, anong paraan ng diplomasya ang kailangan? You were once foreign secretary. How do we deal with it diplomatically?
Well, I'm sure that even our diplomatic officials, even headed no less than the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, must take this initiative in representing the Philippines with the United States, asking them to return this because this is ours. I think ang pinakamagandang approach dito is huwag tayo magiging confrontational. No? Let's not raise voices about the fact na you had no right to come to the Philippines at that time, etc., and so on. Wala nang kwenta yan eh. That's history. That's the past where it must belong, no? In the past. We're looking at it prospectively in the future. Sa akin lang is that we should be able to really come up with the legal argument and the moral argument that America has the responsibility of returning this to us. Hindi ito alam ng napakaraming mga Pilipino. But dahil doon sa tinatawag nating Balangiga Massacre, although marami nagsasabi yung massacre, hindi yung pag-aatake ng Pilipino, kung hindi what resulted after that when the Americans waged these campaigns, bayonet policy against the Filipinos na talagang pati na yung 10-year-old males and above should be killed on the spot. So if they could carry weapons, they should be killed. Pero kung nakikita nyo, yung commanding general of that area that included Samar, General Jacob Smith, he was court-martialed for precisely causing the atrocities and brutalities, violating the rights of the community and the civilians, together with his assistant. I think at that time it was Major Waller. But you see, Brigadier General Jacob Smith was convicted. He was found guilty in this court-martial, suggesting very strongly that what he did was wrong. But then, unfortunately, he was just given a slap on the wrist. He was just allowed to retire. On the other hand, Waller was acquitted. Waller was the one that really implemented the orders of the general. He was acquitted, and then later on became Major General as well. But this is precisely all historical facts that would point out to what is really now an uncontested position, that these bells rightfully belong to the Philippines.
Would you be able to tell us any similarity or parallel incidents that had something to do with America?
Look at the situation of Vietnam. Ang daming mga war memorials dyan sa Vietnam, mga helicopters, mga B-52 bombers na ka-display hanggang ngayon, depicting the atrocities of America during the Vietnam War. Pati na yung mga napalm samples of napalm bombs and the like, pati na yung mga kung ano-ano pa, mga talagang very clearly war items, weapon systems, and so on. Now, technically speaking, spoils of war yun. Hindi nila Hindi pwedeng makikilim ng Amerika na sa kanila yun. Yeah. And these things continue to be in display in Vietnam. But Vietnam and the Philippines continue to and the United States continue to respect each other insofar as their positions on this issue is concerned. Yeah, you could display that. That's part of your history in Vietnam. On the other hand, Vietnam and the United States, contrary to what was expected then, have become even best of friends. Out of that atrocities of the Vietnam War, Vietnam and America now have forged a strong friendship with each other. Some people even argue, mas malapit na daw ang Vietnam kaysa Amerika, kaysa Philippines and America. So this is the parallel. Kalimutan na natin yung history. Wala tayo argue for or against that. Wala mangyayari. Ang question na lamang natin iisipin ngayon, will it promote better and stronger relationships for America to return? From a practical viewpoint, these bells. Otherwise, it will continue to become an emotional issue that will in fact impinge on our recovering a better and stronger friendship with that nation.
Yeah. May I call on Attorney Romy Macalintal to please join us here? We need your expertise. Usapang senior to eh.
Grabe naman.
Thank you for dropping by. We'd like to find out your views about this. Welcome.
Good morning po. Welcome back po.
So, yung tungkol dun sa issue na ito, sabi nga, war booty eh. Pero definitely, magkakaroon ng pananariwa ng mga sugat. No? Katulad nga nung sinasabi na nasasaktan yung mga namatay doon sa massacre, yung mga apo nila. Pero in the first place, yung ba pagpapakita na ng layunin ng Amerika na maging world power after Spain from a historical point of view?
Actually, before the Spanish-American War, the United States was not really considered as a superpower. They only became a superpower after they have acquired Filipinas, Cuba, Puerto Rico. It was actually their first foray into imperialism. And siguro yung mga natural resources na rin ng mga bansa na yun, nagamit nila, kaya yumaman na rin sila.
Kaya doon sila nagsimula, no?
Exactly.
Okay. Attorney Mac, what do you have to say?
Well, no, I just dropped by kasi mayroong meeting kanina doon. Gusto ko talaga kitang makita, personal ulit eh.
Senior na rin ako. Yeah. Senior na rin ako.
Then, lalo na ako naging excited nung makita ko si Secretary Yasay, And narinig ko nga yung issue tungkol dun sa American, yung sa Balangiga Bells, Pero para sa akin, hindi yun ang mahalaga eh. Ang mahalaga siguro dapat ipaglaban natin, yung mga pinaglalaban ng mga veterans, mga Filipino veterans, that they should also receive the benefits received by a regular U.S. veteran. Kasi matagal ng problema yan. For more than 6 decades na, pinaglalaban ng mga Filipino veterans na kung ano yung tinatanggap ng isang US veteran, hindi dapat lang matanggap. Kasi kapag ikaw ay considered as a Filipino veteran who fought during World War II side by side with the American Armed Forces, 50% lang ang binibigay sa mga Pilipino. Hindi 100% benefits. Mayroon discrimination dyan eh. At napakatagal lang ipinaglalaban yan. And kapag ikaw ay Filipino veteran, you are not entitled to pension benefits. Anong ibig sabihin ng pension? Yung pension, yung lifetime benefits yun. Whether you were wounded in action or not, o nagkaroon ka ng service-connected disability, tatanggap niyan pagdating mo ng mga 60 years old. Pero pag ikaw ay US veteran, pagdating mo ng 60 years old and above, automatic na tumatanggap na ng pensyon. Ano natanggap nila ng isang Filipino veteran? Ang tinatanggap lang niya is what they call compensation. And compensation means you should have a contracted disease while in service or you should have been wounded in action. Yun lang binibigyan ng benefits. Kaya malaki ang discrimination dyan na pinaglalaban ng mga Filipino veterans na ang ating government since time immemorial, parang hindi pinaglaban yan, yung equal benefits na yan. Kaya napakadami natin veterano na nawalan ng ganyang benefits. Ngayon, mga 10,000 o 9,000 veterans na lamang ang natitira out of the more than 120,000 soldiers who fought side by side with the American government. Nung nirecruit yung mga batang yan, bata pa sila, talagang ang pangako sa kanila, parehong benefits eh.
Attorney Mac, let me correct you. It's politically incorrect to say that the Filipinos fought side by side with Americans. The Filipinos fought in front of the Americans,
Americans, no?
considering the number of casualties. No?
Silang pambala, no? O, kaya sabi nila, yung bala naman, nung pumuputok yung mga Hapon hindi naman kinikilala, ikaw ba'y Pilipino, ikaw ba'y Amerikano, ano? Talagang yun, to whom it may concern. Talagang, kaya...
Made in Japan yun.
Kaya yun, pinaglaban ng ating mga veterans. Hanggang ngayon, pinaglalaban yan. Ngayon, sa 10,000 na lang natitira. And ma-face out na yung mga benefits na yan ng US government. Mabuti, may isang congressman from sa US na nag-file ng bill to retain itong benefits na tinatanggap ng mga Filipino veterans, kahit kalahati lang.
Okay.
Kaya siguro yun ang dapat na tingnan ng ating gobyerno kaysa iyang bells, kung ano man na bells na yan, maaaring historical yan. Pero para sa akin, yung economic side ng ating mga veterans ang dapat na ipaglaban.
Yeah. Attorney Yasay at Pepe, let me ask you, parang dun sa nangyari sa Balangiga, historically, parang walang balimbing, They were able to launch the attack on the Americans na walang squealer. Kaya naging matagumpay at namasakir yung mga Amerikano. Ano po pananaw ninyo? Anong merong likas sa kultura ng mga taga roon sa Samar?
Unang-una sa lahat, well, of course, I agree with what Mac is saying. Gusto ko lang, that's however, an entirely different issue. No? And I think we should pursue that. We should not undermine that. Talagang our Filipinos who fought in front of the Americans or side by side really have a justifiable basis to make that a claim. Pero dito, kung natignan nyo, what precipitated the attack by the townsfolk of Balangiga? One, yung may order na pumunta itong 9th Army Regiment to keep the peace and to what do you call this, make sure na yung insurgency ay talagang masugpo, especially in that area in Samar. When they arrived, sometime in August of 1901, ang unang reception sa kanila by the Filipinos there was very, very cordial. Talagang, nakipag-iinuman pa sila ng tuba every now and then. Uminom din ako ng tuba. Tapos, mayroon pa nga itong isang sarhento, niligawan pa yung isang Pilipina na naging girlfriend daw ata, they had a romantic affair, ganun-ganun. But then, well, one thing that you should also remember, part of Samar was a main source of Manila hemp. A very important product that was needed also by the military insofar as the ropes for naval and such other coming from Manila hemp. So it was very important for the Americans to secure their interest in Samar, not only to fight. Pero yung order ng higher superiors was to make sure na yung food supply ng mga tao sa Balangiga will be confiscated dahil baka daw ay pupunta sa mga Filipino insurgents. Pero hindi ginawa ng 9th Regiment yan. Dahil nakita nila, mabait naman itong mga Filipino community, gano'n. Okay. Yun lang, isang gabi, may dalawang sundalong Amerikano na lasing. Yung nalasing, minolest itong isang Pilipina na nagbebenta sa kanila ng tuba. And they tried to even, sexually assault her. Nakita nung kapatid ng itong babae na ito, binugbog nila yung dalawa. In kaso, yung kapitan nila, nagalit. The next day, yung nalaman na ganun, pina-aresto lahat, about 184 Filipino males, at pinasok doon sa tent. Yung isang tent is only capable of receiving or accommodating 15 people, pero 184, dalawang tents lang, nandun sila.
Parang Quezon City Jail.
Parang ganun. The worst part is that tinuloy, kinonfiscate yung mga bolos nila that they needed for farming, that they needed for their livelihood, kinonfiscate yung mga pagkain, and so on and so forth. So, naapi yung community. Sabi na ba, hindi tama to. Anong gagawin natin? It was at that point in time that they decided atakinan. And they were all unified. Pati na yung babae na niligawan ng isang sarhentong Amerikano was part of the efforts to precisely attack the American 9th Army Regiment Company. So, dito mo makikita, in answer to your question, the cooperation, the secrecy under which all of this, yung mga babae, pinaalis muna nila eh. Yung mga babae at mga bata,
Kasi
pinaalis
even
muna.
the males, no, decided
Yeah, and then
to
they dress
dress
themselves
as
like
women.
females para talagang the attack was supposed to come about at about 6 o'clock to 6:45 in the morning. So talagang they were all unified as one community. And their intention was just simply to stop the atrocities and the brutalities that were committed against them. The next day, natapos yung atake, nakita nila na sugpo nila yung 44 ang namatay out of the 72 or so members of the company. Iniwan nila yung mga wounded na 22 na remaining at umalis sila. They deserted the town. So nakikita mo that they did not intend to really massacre completely. They just wanted to make sure na umalis itong mga Amerikano. Umalis nga, pero bumalik with vengeance. So you see, again, yung cooperation, yung talagang camaraderie, the faithfulness and loyalty of the community to each other in defending a foreign invader was very strong.
In resisting a foreign invader. Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. Likas ba sa Pilipino yung ganun na kultura, pagkakaisa?
Mas talaga yun, lalo na yun sa mga pagpupunta tayo sa mga baryo-baryo sa mga bayan na taga sa ang ano ka ba, probinsya ka. Lalo na kung kaprobinsya mo yan, yun ang talagang lagi mo sasamahan. Pero yung nangyaring rin yun isang correction nga pala, na itama ako kasi may kaibigan akong taga Samar. Ang tama palang pronunciation ng yung Balangiga ay Balangiga. Hindi pala Balang. It's Balangiga. Balangiga. Yun sila raw sa Samar. Yun ang talagang pronunciation nila.
Okay.
So, ngayon, when the Americans arrived in Samar, actually, Samar was already in the hands of General Vicente Lucban since 1898. Siya na yung may hawak talaga ng Samar noon. Presidente pa noon si Emilio Aguinaldo. So, meron ng stronghold yung revolutionary forces natin. Kaya nang dumating na yung mga Amerikano sa Balangiga, medyo malakas na yung stronghold nila doon eh. We can never tell na baka talaga yung mga tao nun, their sympathies are, of course, with the revolutionary government of Aguinaldo. Like,
Na-trigger lang.
Na-trigger lang, oo.
Okay.
Actually, there have been spies, not just in Balangiga, but also in other towns in Samar. Vicente Lucban had, talaga meron siyang strict orders na patayin yung mga kumakampi sa mga Amerikano. In fact, he had one tortured in another town in Samar. He had one tortured na,
Okay.
kasi kumampi, espiya kasi ng mga Kano espiya siya sa Kano.
At wala pang embassy ang Amerika noon, no? Sa Ross Boulevard. Hindi pa makaka-apply ng visa, no? Hindi pa. Okay. Tatlo? Yeah.
Iba-iba.
Iba-iba. Secretary Yasay is leaving for overseas. Davao. Ilang dagat din yung dadaanan mo, di ba? Okay? Yeah. Okay. We'd like to open the floor to questions for Secretary Yasay. Sige nga, let's start para makalarga si Secretary. Please.
Tracy Cabrera po sa Hataw. If we finally had the balls to get the bells, what do we do with it? Kasi, di ba we're not so really good in baka after fighting for it so much, all the effort, nilagay lang yan sa isang kahon, tapos nakalimutan na.
Sa akin, on the assumption that we get the bells, and I do not see any reason why America should continue retaining it, why they should not return it to us, in the spirit of comity and friendship, in the spirit of the so-called special relationship that we have with the United States, we can put those bells in the Philippines, particularly in Samar, and come up with a fitting memorial for both the gallant American soldiers and the Filipino insurgents that defended their country against the foreign invaders. Alam mo, itong mga sundalo, whether you like it or not, iba ito sa mga government policies nila, no? Kung gusto ng Amerikanong ngayon, soldiers will always follow orders. Nagkataon lang, mayroong mga bad eggs dito sa mga sundalo ng mga Amerikano that triggered that fight or that battle. Pero be that as it may, nakikita mo rin na yung mga good soldiers ng mga Amerikano doon, they carried on the duty of defending and fighting for their co-soldiers. That's a demonstration of gallantry and heroism to a certain extent from the viewpoint of America. Pero sa Pilipinas, ganun din. So to my mind, especially because from the ashes and ruins of Balangiga, nagkaroon tayo we forged a closer relationship with America. Nakikita mo, from 1901 to 1946, we were even nurtured to become independent ourselves, and we were granted our independence in 1946. Kalimutan na natin yung incident and just remember the gallantry of both forces that precisely resulted in these good fruits of closer relationship. Iyan palagay ko ang dapat natin gagawin. Napakahirap, but I like your suggestion na sinasabi nyo, kukunin nga namin ito. Pagkatapos, pagdating dito, itatapon nyo na lang. Hindi naman tama yun. That will precisely add up to the loss of prestige and dignity and honor that we are fighting for. That will be self-defeating. But I think it should be done this way. Or the other alternative, as suggested during the time of President Ramos, isauli itong bells, bring it back to the people of Balangiga, and then mayroon tayong replica of these bells, tago uli dun sa Cheyenne, Wyoming, and then the other one in the American base in South Korea. But all of this can be done all in the spirit of comity without being confrontational about the whole thing.
Kay Atty. Macalintal.
Yung muna, reserve mo muna yung tanong dahil alis si Secretary.
Follow up lang doon sa kay Balangiga. Kasi nga, di ba ang issue is like, ang dami nga memorial dito sa atin eh. Ngayon, ginawang basurahan, di ba? Ang dami eh. Pati nga si Rizal, patatalikurin nata ni Erap sa Manila.
Hindi si Erap yun, si Bagat Singh yun.
Si Bagat Singh.
Palagay ko hindi na mangyayari yan kay President Duterte.
Okay, tapos sa istorya.
Tess Romero of Catholic Media Network. Sir, diplomatically speaking, who should actually ask for the bell? Kasi last time it was the level of the President Ramos vis-a-vis President Clinton. Tapos ito, nag-speech President Duterte. But diplomatically speaking, who should really request or ask for the bell? And who should really go there? Or should they be the ones to come here? Ano ho yung protocol tungkol dyan?
I think it is not quite fair or correct for us to proceed with the assumption that we have not asked for the return of the bells. We have always consistently done so. Even before we were in an independent country, in the course after this were taken, we really demanded for the return of these bells. And then through successive generations, we also reiterated the very same request. Fell on deaf ears. So to my mind, especially nag-announce na si Presidente sa SONA niya na isauli niyo, that's good enough. America should respond from all of these things. And I think the American response to the U.S. Ambassador here, Sung Kim, is very positive. And I would like to see more gestures of this nature. And I think it is about time that the way I understand it is the State Department, maybe even in fact the Office of the President that has supervision over the State Department are very positive insofar as the return of these bells are concerned. But it is the political environment through Congress that maybe will be the stumbling block to this right now. But I think that can be addressed by the American people.
Why do you say that, sir?
But we have already made that request, and that request is standing and it's continuing.
But what made you say that Congress couldn't be the stumbling block?
Mayroon kasing maraming mga politiko sa Congress. It's the political arm of the department, one of the political arms of the three departments of the U.S. na very sila eh.
Aggressive?
They're representing their own state. Siguro yung mga 9th Regiment kung saan sila nanggaling. Many of them come from Wyoming.
Adamant.
O gano'n na. So nakikita nyo rin na may implications ito sa Amerika, politically also. If you will remember, many of those soldiers and officers of the U.S. Military that came to the Philippines at that time were part of the campaign against the American Indians when they were, they were also massacred and so on and so forth. So these are very strong sentiments that I think America historically must correct itself for.
Thank you.
Jason, may tanong ka? Jason? Sige, wala pa.
Siguro para sa yung nasundan ko lang si Secretary Yasay, masyadong politika pa yung statement ni Secretary. Siguro dapat sabihin lang natin, natakot talaga ang Amerika doon sa speech ni Digong. Siguro ayaw na nilang mamura.
Gusto nila matukang.
Di ba? Oo, kasi nakakita nyo na, sinasabi nga natin ito, ang tagal-tagal na niya, kung ano nung mga request, mga formalities, ginawa ng Philippine government. Pero it takes a president with that guts to talagang mumurahin mo ang isang foreign country about that particular thing, to be returned to the Philippines. Medyo mabigat yung salita ng president tungkol sa bagay na yan. Kaya palagay ko, medyo natakot yung Amerika. Kaya kita po, after about one or 2 days lang, sinabi na ng American government na willing na silang isusoli yan. Samantalang ang iba, ang dami-dami mga formal request. Ito, State of the Nation address lang. Kumana, di ba?
Ang problema lang sa Congress ng Amerika, wala silang super majority. No? Ano po? Wala.
Ako naman, kung totoo man yan sinasabi ni kaibigan Mac, sa aking pananaw lamang, sa aking pananaw is that tayo, minsan natatakot tayo because of our inadequacies, because of our mistakes, because of our faults. Palagay ko kung totoo mang natakot ang Amerika sa sinabi ni Presidente Duterte, palagay ko it is principally because of that. That they knew that they were standing on a weak position.
Very well. Question.
Okay, good morning. I'm Juvie de Guzman of DWBL. Sec, alam niyo po, natutuwa ako kasi parang nabubuksan yung kaisipan ng mga Pilipino tungkol sa Philippine history, no? Dun sa mga pangyayari noon. Paano natin mapipreserve yung history na totoo ng Pilipinas? Kasi since 1901, yung Balangiga Bells nga po, parang hindi natalakayan. Just recently lang. So sa inyo pong pananaw po, bilang isang eksperto ukol sa history, ano po yung magandang mensahe na dapat nating ipaalam sa buong mundo, lalong-lalo sa mga kabataan ngayon na bumabase lang sila kung ano sinabi ng mga ilang nakakatanda sa kanila?
Napakagandang tanong yan, Especially so, pagpasok ng Amerika rito, they concealed and removed from history, from records, yung mga atrocities nila dito. And they were telling the American people a different picture. Problema ng Amerika yan. But I think I agree with you. We should now come up with the National Historical Commission, our Department of Education, to rewrite that aspect and to correct that aspect of Philippine history, to make sure that all of this, which is really part of our posterity, which is really something that we should be proud of, must be corrected. And we must come up with all of the books, bring this out from the archives, and make sure that these are brought not only to the truth to the Filipino people, to especially the younger generation na matagal nang have been detached from that part of our history, and maybe in fact to the whole world. But I think this is very, very important. If Congress can initiate that move, or the Historical Commission on its own in collaboration with the other departments, relevant departments of government, they can do that. And then you have historians like this individual beside me. Marami tayo dyan mga magagaling. They know the true facts. If you look at Google on this episode, for instance, about part of our history, you will see that we have all the information, the correct information that will reflect the true picture. And I think it's about time that we engage ourselves in a proactive, vigorous effort to rewrite history towards the truth.
But they say history is written by the victors.
I think right now we are the victors, Melo. What are you talking about?
All right.
Ayan. Final
Love it, love it.
That's why we are writing history, di ba?
Okay, final question na lang po. If ever, last na lang po. If ever ma-recover natin yung Balangiga Bells, Sino po ang mag-aano niyan, mag-aalaga?
Palagay ko kasama yan sa responsibilities ng ating National Historical Commission. I think they will be the ones to be receiving it. There should be a fitting ceremony for that. And napakaganda yan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, for the information of the good secretary and the members of the panel, we initially invited the American ambassador to sit with us, but conflict in schedule prevented him from joining us. We also invited the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, but probably they also had some previous commitments or they're not interested in the topic at all. But we'd like to think otherwise. Sol, question? Jason, paalis na si Secretary? Okay, maraming salamat. Okay, thank you very much. Tuloy pa rin tayo. What is it in the Filipino culture that, sabi nga we wish merong pang unity, merong pang solidarity ang mga Pilipino. Bakit nawala ito? Sabi mo nga, pag nagpunta ka sa mga barangay, meron pa. Pero bakit in areas like Manila, nobody knows the neighbors?
I think many people are going to hate me for this. But after the Spaniards were driven out, that's the time that Filipinos became divided. I always, in my writings, I always say that it's Spain that created Filipinas. Because if Spain did not arrive here, kasi before the Spanish advent, hiwa-hiwalay tayo eh. The Tagalogs, they consider themselves as their own country, their own nation. The Bicolanos, the same. The Ilocanos, they're foreigners to the Visayans, etc. The Spaniards arrived here, they're the ones who united all these tribal states or ethno-linguistic groups. Sila yung kaya meron tayong Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao eh. So just imagine if Spain didn't arrive here, anong nangyari pa? We could have been what? A Moro nation? Baka parte tayo ng Indonesia or Malaysia, ganun. Or we could have been Protestants because the Dutch also were conquering countries. Baka the Dutch actually tried to invade us many times during the 1600s. They were just driven out. If the Dutch had won, we wouldn't have been a Catholic nation now. Hiwa-hiwalay pa rin. Maraming senaryo ng nangyari. So that's why we really have to look at this part of our history. We have to give it a much fresher appraisal. Doon nawala yung unity natin, nang nawala na yung Espanya, nagkawatak-watak yun. And even now, it's still happening, nagkakawatak-watak pa rin tayo.
Modern technology. Dati-dati, usap-usap lagi tayo, pero kahit ang pamilya, di ba? Pero ngayon, kahit na nag-uusap-usap ang pamilya, hawak nila mga cellphones, usap ng iba't iba ang iniisip nila. Sa kapitbahay natin, wala na yung mga grupo-grupo noon. Even in the children, walang communication. Mag-isa sila, naglalaro ng kanilang computer. Unlike ng mga bata pa tayo, sa gabi, maglaro tayo ng tumbang preso, talaga magkakasama mga bata, nagkakaroon ng proper communication. Pero ngayon, wala.
So, Atty. Mac,
Siguro sa probinsya, nakikita pa natin yung pagkakasama-sama ng ibang mga kababayan natin.
so may historical roots pala yung tumbang preso, no? Dahil yung preso ngayon, tinutumba rin, no?
Oo, pwede rin, ano? Kaya yun yung sinasabi natin nung nagkakasama-sama sila sa mga presong yan, di ba?
Doon pala
Nalalaban, ano?
nanggaling yun. At may history pala. Dahil dyan sa history, gusto kong malaman. Kasi ako nung nag-aaral ako, never kong nabasa itong Balangiga Massacre. Ngayon ba sa mga history books ba natin, meron na? Kasi talagang hindi ko siya napag-aralan unless nabasa ko yung ibang
Meron sila,
nangyari ngayon.
passing mention lang, footnotes. Kasi kalimitan yung history natin is always concentrated in Manila. Kung ano nangyayari sa Manila, Samar yan, probinsya. Yung basta pag mga nangyayari na sa probinsya, sa Mindanao, sa Visayas, parang footnote lang siya eh. Just a mere mention.
Yung kaya pagpasok ng mga Thomasites, yung kaya ay isang mas economical na approach ng Amerika to colonize rather than come up with regiments like those sent in Samar.
It's not just economical, it's everything, political, cultural. Kasi pinasok na nila dito with the coming of the Thomasite teachers. May pinasok na sila dito ng bagong kultura eh. The Thomasites are the first teachers. They're the first ones who taught us English. back then, majority of Filipinos, no, they were speaking, we were a Spanish-speaking nation. Hindi na tinuturo rin sa eskwela yan. Yeah, more, actually, the Filipinos back then were bilinguals or even trilinguals back then. They spoke Tagalog and they also spoke Spanish. They spoke Ilocano, they also spoke Spanish. Hindi yan ang hindi na tinuturo ngayon. Exactly.
24 units si Atty. Mac.
24. We were a Hispanic nation. My golly, even our national hero, ano bang lengguwahe niya? Everything he wrote was in Spanish.
Okay. Atty. Mac, your thoughts about this? Yung lingwahe at yung colonization, both militarily and, Thomasite.
Wala naman ako masyadong nakukuha sa ating history, ano ha. Pero yun nga sinabi nga ng ating kasama kayo na hindi ko na alam yung sa Balangiga na yan eh. Actually, ngayon, noong ma-discuss nga lang ng President ang bagay niya sa kanyang SONA, na medyo nagbasa-basa rin ako ng konti. Ito pala itong panahon pa ng mga Espanyol. Kasi nga, masasabi natin, bakit ganun? Hindi nabibigyan ng pansin. Sabi nga ng ating kasama, footnote lang yan ng ating kasaysayan. Footnote kasi hindi very popular event. Hindi mga uprising. Hindi yung mga ginawa ng mga bayani natin kaya hindi nagiging bahagi ng ating kasaysayan halos. At mabuti lang, yung mga historians tayo, ang bagay niyan ngayon nabibigyan natin ng pansin para sa ating mga kabataan. At ako, natuwa, as a senior citizen, by the way, I just turned 70 the other day. Kaya, kaya ngayon 70 na ako, at least nagpapasalamat pa rin ako sa poong may kapal. At kahit pa paano, nagkaroon ako ng bagong knowledge about this part of our history. Pero siyempre, nadalaw lang po naman ako rito pero hindi ako prepared na i-discuss talaga yung bagay na yan. Pero ako nagpapasalamat kasi nagkaroon ako ng additional knowledge about this matter. And it gave me now an inspiration to look deeper into this case. At naalaala ko lang na it took the courage and guts of a president like President Duterte to awaken the minds of these American people of the rights or entitlement of the Filipino government to recover this very historic thing.
Okay, very well.
May tanong lang po ako kay Kapepe. Alas. Since you're a historian, and I've met a lot of Filipino historians, wala bang move from your community, from your sector, na this time, i-correct naman natin yung ating kasaysayan. Kasi it's written by people. Siyempre, isusulat siya kung conforme dun sa priority at saka mold ng isip ng taong susulat. Maraming mga highlights sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na sana ay maganda at makapagbigay ng tunay na patriotismo lalo na sa kabataan. Kanya lang, hindi nababanggit ito dahil kaya nga kasi mga walang pagmamahal sa bansa ang sumulat ng ating kasaysayan.
Actually, isa pang problema nakikita ko dito na tayo mga Filipino ngayon, hati-hati. Kami mga historiador, hati-hati rin. Actually, my critics, they label me as a Hispanist. Meron naman mga historian na nationalists, may mga leftist historians, meron mga historians na makakano, and all of them, all of us, we believe that we're right. Ako, tama yung sinasabi ko, sila tama, ako mali. Ganun hiwa-hiwalay rin. May kanya-kanyang version. Ang sigurong ano na lang dito, ang magpapapatos na lang dito yung sentido ko muna lang. Ako, ang binabase ko lagi sa kasaysayan, yung mga primary sources. Kasi much of our history is written in Spanish. So, doon ako na lang nagpapasalamat na lang ako sa Diyos na kasi marunong din ako ng Kastila. Yun, kaya mas naiintindihan ko yung nangyari. Mas nagkakaroon ako ng imahen sa sa nakaraan natin kung ano talaga yung nangyari na dahil sa primary sources written in Spanish. Kaya nga sinasabihan ko yun, if you don't know Spanish, then stay away from Filipino history. Tapos nasasabihan ako, hambog ka. But that's true. Kasi, are you going to rely on translations? Translation is a very dangerous thing. Kaya talagang dapat doon tayo sumalalay. If you want to be a historian, you have to learn Spanish. That's imperative.
Very well.
O dapat maging katulad kayo ng mga sumulat ng Biblia na halos nagtutugma-tugma ang kasaysayan. Ano?
Pag talagang nagpapasalin-salin yan, nagbabago na yung yung ibig niyo sabihin eh. Nagbabago-bago yan.
Would you recommend ba ngayon sa mga schools na dapat ibalik yung required Spanish units?
Definitely. Kasi dati nga 24 units yan. And even during the Spanish period, the medium of instruction was Spanish. Nang dumating dito yung mga Thomasites, they were teaching the Filipinos anong lingwahe ginagamit nila in order for the Filipinos to understand them. They were speaking to Filipinos in Spanish. Even the US troops who went to Balangiga, si Captain Thomas Connell, he spoke to the leaders of Balangiga in Spanish. Doon sila nagkakaintindihan eh. In Spanish talaga. Kasi sabi ko, we're a Hispanic nation. We should bring back, because Spanish is ours, even former Claro Emerecto, talagang nilalaban niya na
Kung di ako nagkakamali, may mga kawal na nakarating sa Pilipinas na mula rin sa Cuba. Kaya marunong silang magkastila.
That I'm not familiar. Pero
Meron ako nabasang account na gano'n. Kaya magaling sila magkastila dahil they were also assigned there. Sa Bacano naman yun. Sa Bacano naman yun. Yung bastardized, sabi nila Spanish.
Follow up lang. Kasi kung meron Spanish accounts, may mga Chinese din dito, I'm sure may Chinese accounts din yan. And I'm sure meron din, kasi di ba, magaya ngayon, mga kabataan, they don't really recognize or really know na we were once part of the Majapahit Empire. We were also once part of the Srivijayan Empire. Na hindi na babanggit. Banggitin mo sa mga bata yun. Ano yun?
Basta kasama tayo sa Silk Road.
yung Majapahit
diba?
Empire that
Silk Road.
but Filipinas was not yet existing. Yung Majapahit Empire, if I'm not mistaken, it only occupied much, if not all of Luzon. Hindi kasama din yung Visayas or even Mindanao, lalong-lalo ng Mindanao, hindi kasama doon sa Majapahit Empire na yun. Meron pang isa yung Pampanga Kingdom naman. Doon lang sila sa Pampanga. Hindi kasama din yung Visayas. The Mindanaoans are left out. Hindi mo masasabing Filipinas yon. Sinasabi nila na mas nauna dito dumating yung mga Chino, yung mga Inchik. Did they found our country? Did they establish a nation? No, they did not. It was the Spaniards who did it.
The Chinese were more interested in trade.
They were more into trade.
Yes.
And then, meron pang sectors nagsasabi mas nauna raw dito ang Islam, which is true, lalo na sa Mindanao, sa Western Mindanao. But did they establish a nation? No, they did not. It was the friars who did it. It was the Spanish government who did that. They established a Filipino state. May fetcha pa nga yun, June 24, 1571. And I always write that in my blogs na ito yung birthday, this is the foundation date of our country, June 24, 1571, when Governor General Legazpi, in the name of, on behalf of the King of Spain, he established Manila as the capital city. Capital city of what? Yun ang hindi rin tinuturo sa history books natin. Capital city, of course, of Filipinas, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We were not just a mere colony. Kasi pag sinabi mong colony, pumapasok dito yung exploitation eh. We were a colony of the US. Kasi talagang they really exploited us, our natural resources. Through the Belt Trade Act, naggawa sila ng ganyan. They were given the liberty to exploit our natural resources, our mineral, forest resources, which we cannot do the same with the US. Kasi sabi nila Commonwealth daw eh, di ba? They established Commonwealth.
So damay tayo ron.
Commonwealth, pero sila lang ang may karapatan na mag-exploit ng natural resources. Tayo hindi pwede.
Okay, very well. More questions, Pat? Pat. The late Pat. Nahuli.
Sir, may tanong lang ako from Tribune, Sir Pat Santos. Di ba ang mga war trophy, yung mga victorious country, di ba? Kanila lahat yan eh, di ba? So, hindi ata ganun kadali yung...
So, yung kanina,
For the
war
sake of
putin.
argument, sir.
Mayroon.
Nanalo tayo eh. Nagbuwis ng buhay yung mga sundalo natin dyan eh. At saka may historical, impact yung sa puso ng mga mandirigma na lumaban, mga veterano. Parang it's not easy para isang can you react?
It's not also easy for the part of the US to just give it back. Kasi yung issue ng war booty na yan, that didn't happen only in our country, but tulad nga sinabi ni Mr. Yasay, di ba sa Vietnam din, may war booty rin sila. Even in the Middle East, all over the world, lahat na may nakaranas ng invasion, na kinuha yung mga relics nila, war booty. Mukhang sa panahon natin ngayon, tayo na lang yung talagang merong, I think we're the only country now who has this passion to have such war booty as the Balangiga Bells to be returned. Yung nga nangyari sa SONA. Pati ako nagulat nung kinalaman yun sa SONA.
Hindi, marami namang effort yung president natin, kaya lang na-highlight dito sa parte ng SONA ng speech. Kasi titignan mo si President Duterte, I'm not against Duterte, no? Parang pag may anti-American, yung war atrocities, parang niya rini-revive yung, I do not know kung anong play yun, But, pagka yung, di ba, magkaibigan na tayo, katulad ng Vietnam at saka US, hindi na sila nagbabanggitan ng ganyan.
May negosyo na sila.
Mas madugo pa nga yung ginawa ng Kanu sa Vietnam eh. When you compare sa Pilipinas
Okay.
if war yan eh, wala tayong magagawa.
This is the problem now. Kasi at the very start of President Duterte's regime, he has already made it known to all of us, all over the world, that he is anti-US. No, meron siyang dahilan. This is because of US imperialism. Yung mga sinisigaw na mga leftist activists dyan sa kalsada, yung mga globalization, US imperialism, totoo yan. It's common knowledge. It's just an elephant in the room that many of our politicians refuse to discuss. So I think, in my observation, President Duterte is very knowledgeable of this. Sinabi rin naman niya na leftist din siya, may pagka-leftist din siya, di ba? He even had communist leanings. He even had liaisons with Joe Masison. Kaya yun ang isang problema na nakikita natin, na he has the gall to have the bells returned. He's anti-US. So anong mangyayari niyan? Babalik na lang ba bigla ng US yun sa isang tao na galit sa kanila, na ilang beses na minura pa nga niya, di ba? Ngayon, a few days ago, may nabasa akong statement galing kay US Ambassador Sun Kim. So, he issued a statement about the SONA. He said that the US government is willing to work with their Filipino brothers, to find a positive resolution regarding the bells. So, but he did not explicitly say that he's going to work with his Filipino brothers to have the bells returned. Sabi lang niya, he's going to find a positive resolution daw. It's very vague. Parang hindi, ayaw talagang yatang ibalik. Gumagawa sila ng what resolution? Where's the explicit statement that why aren't you just going to give us back the bells? Yung diplomacy, sira pa rin eh. Kasi Duterte is allied with China. Karibal ng US yun eh, both empires. Yun ang nakikita kong problema dito, hindi bastang madali. Pero, kung itong Balangiga Bells, kapag ito hindi nabalik pagkatapos ng panahon ni Duterte, I don't think we'll ever get those bells back.
Okay. So, hindi na makukuha yun.
Palagay ko hindi. Talagang, I think, so ang masuswestiyon ko na lang dyan kay President Duterte, he has to be more diplomatic towards the US. Ako, I'm also anti-US like him. Pero he's a president eh. Wala. Never.
Hindi ako nag-apply eh.
Never.
Anyway.
Yung diplomacy na lang talaga ang
Yeah.
Para kay Atty. Macalintal, I agree with you. You mentioned about the problems of the veterans. Paano naman ho yung comfort women?
Comfort women
Kasi binanggit ni Presidente about the veterans, diba? Yung kailangan magkaroon ng paano naman ho yung mga comfort women?
Well, I don't know about yung problems ng comfort women. Matagal na rin naman ating pinoproblema yan. Pero palagay ko, depende na rin yan sa ating Pangulo kung paano siya magkakaroon ng proper negotiation with the Japanese government. But the problem here is humingi ng paumanin ng Japanese government doon pa man napakatagal ng problema yan, hanggang ngayon wala namang
Pero
resolution.
may pagkakaiba, Attorney Mac, dahil lang sa yung mga Koreano na bigyan ng $90,000 in compensation per head.
Pero siguro, depende talaga sa government
Pero ang
natin.
problema kasi natin, dahil humihingi rin tayo ng tulong sa Japan at may trend ng gagastusan yung Japan. So I think we don't have a leverage
Yeah.
for this, for the comfort women.
Unlike
Dahil
yung kiniklaim
beggar
ng mga,
tayo.
unlike nung kiniklaim ng mga veterans, talagang meron silang rightful claim against the US government sapagkat nung ni-recruit sila nung Japanese time, talagang ang pangako doon ay pareho ang benefits na tatanggapin. But after that, they revoked the may bill doon na ni-revoke sila, then it was not given to the Filipinos. Na hanggang ngayon, ipinaglalaban ng mga Pilipinos yan. Magbuhat pa nung kulang-kulang 200,000 Filipino veterans yan. Ngayon, halos wala ng 10,000. Palagay ko, kung may mga pwede makipag-usap kay Pangulong Duterte, palagay ko, isang mura pa sa Amerika, ibibigay yung full benefits na yun. Kukunti na lang yun para ibigay sa mga 10,000 na Filipino veterans natin.
Very well. Okay. More questions from the floor? May pahabol pa? Oh, Juby. Sige.
Follow up lang po, Attorney Mac. Yung may usapin po kasi isang ayon dun sa mga ekspertong nakausap ko rin. Bakit daw po dumadami yata yung mga gustong makatanggap dun sa martial law victim na hindi naman daw tunay na mga mga
Martial law victim na yan.
Apo,
Hindi ko alam,
po.
pero alam ko
Nagulat
dyan
lang ako
noong
kasi mga
mag-file
senior
sila
citizen sila
na i-file na nila yung mga complete names na yan.
Opo. Bakit?
I don't know kung paano madadagdagan yan. Walang iniwan yan sa roster noong mga girila natin
Nadadagdag.
na noong matapos na mag-registration, abay, marami pa rin nag-register kung ano mga affidavits ang sinasubmit. Baka ganyan mangyayari dyan na noong malaman nilang magkakaroon ng pag-asa na makatanggap, katakot-takot na inclusion para makasama sila doon sa listahan. At ginagawa nilang iba dyan, gumagawa ng mga affidavits ng iba't ibang tao na nagpapatunay na sila ay kasama, naging biktima sila ng martial law. So, alam mo naman, marami rin ang gustong magsamantala sa bagay na yan. At actually, marami rin nabibiktima sapagkat to the point na naglalagay sila para makasama sila sa listahan. Sana hindi maging scam lalabas yung ibang na pipilit idagdag sa nasabing listahan.
Okay. Attorney Mac, congratulations. Hindi ko ina-expect na 70 na kayo.
70
Parang 60 lang. Hindi.
Easy.
Apo.
Easy. Walang pansit.
Yes, sir. Hindi, attorney, gusto ko lang pong malaman, are you aware of the new ID na lumalabas po ngayon yung tungkol sa senior and junior citizens group? Are you
Hindi ko
aware
alam.
of this?
Hindi, I'm not aware of the junior citizens group.
Yeah.
Basta kaming mga seniors from 60 and above, seniors ka.
Okay.
Pero kung 59 and below, kung na yun, nasa junior ka pa lang.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me ask you, Kapepe, what is it in store for us as far as Philippine history is concerned? Because you mentioned there is never a united stand by historians on historical accounts. What ought to be done?
Mahirap sagutin yan. The final arbiter right now of our collective history is the NHCP, National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Some of them. Hirap magsalita kasi I don't have any degree in history, kaya yun medyo minamalitin ako ng iba dyan. But what should be done is they have to reform, they have to reassess our notion of history. Kasi laging ang tingin natin sa kasaysayan is yung kasaysayan na yung sinasabi nila sa UP na pantayo, ganito. Yung kasaysayan mula sa pananaw natin. Tama naman.
Pag nag-head ng National Historical Commission, mga historians pa sila, mga
Yes,
authentic
they
historians.
are. Yes, they are. Pero yun nga, we also have to get rid of biases. Kasi yung isang NHCP director doon, I'll just not mention her name. Yun, sabi ko her. She has biases too na in one historical... Naku. Hindi ko pa, dapat binanggit ko na pala. Anyway, in one local historical, in a historical conference na pinuntahan ko, she was telling local historians na magtatayo siya ng parang museum about the martial law atrocities, ganun. So doon pa lang, she already revealed her bias towards this. Kasi may magsasabi na hindi lang masama ang martial law ni Marcos, may magaganda rin nangyari dyan, ganun. Etong head ng NHCP dati, talagang ang anti-Marcos. So yun yung nakikita kong mali sa kasaysayan natin. We have biases. We have to get rid of biases. Even sa Balangiga, we tend to look at this particular event in our history as purely black and white. Na etong side na itong mga Kano, they're evil, they're bad. Itong mga Filipino, tayo yung bida. When I was reviewing the Balangiga massacre, natuklasan ko nito, itong mga Kano na to na pinagpapatay ng mga taga-Samar, mga tao rin naman to eh. Many of them were farm boys who left their homes in search of adventure, talaga na sumali sa pagiging sundalo. They were sent to China, they were sent to Cuba to fight, then they were sent to Samar. Marami sa kanila doon nalungkot sa Samar. They were all homesick. And one of the soldiers, before they were massacred, one of the soldiers even went crazy. Nasiraan ng ulo kasi sobrang homesick. Many of them talaga yung nag-iiyakan sila magkakasama kasi they haven't received letters for months. Tapos yung kinikwento nga ni Mr. Yasay kanina, no, na yung mga sundalo, they had built friendships with the natives of Balangiga. Yung nakikipag-inuman sila, may nanligo pa dyan. May nakikipaglaro pa nga silang sabong tuwing linggo eh. Natuto silang sabong. At galit na galit sa kanila yung kapitan nila na nagbagay pa ng order na bawal na kayo magsabong. Bawal din kayo makipagsyota sa mga babae. So, hindi pa uso yun dati. Ngayon
Hindi pa uso, ha?
Ngayon lang nauso yan. Kaya yun yung nakikita natin, what happened in Balangiga was not just a massacre, it was a tragedy on both sides. But we have to say also that, well, the US troops in the first place, they never had any business being there. Kasi ba't sila nandun? They should have just left us alone. But nangyari na yun eh. History is history. Nangyari na. Pero hindi pa. Yung buhay pa rin yung kasaysayan pala ngayon ng US. Kasi pag sinabi natin history is history, past is past. Kalimutan na natin yan. Nangyari na yan. Pero sa kaso pala ng Estados Unidos, hindi pa. Kasi we were ruled by Spain for more than 3 centuries. But are they still meddling with our internal affairs? No, not anymore. We were ruled by the British for 2 years. Do they still meddle with our internal affairs? No. We were ruled by the Japanese for 3 years. Do they still meddle with our internal affairs? Not anymore. We were ruled by the US for 48 years. Do they still meddle with our internal affairs? A big yes. So buhay pa rin yung sugat na yun, hindi pa rin mahihilom eh.
Okay. Yung nakita ko dito sa aklat na kay Greg Jones, may tradisyon yung Amerika na gumamit ng torture sa mga kalaban?
Water cure.
Aha.
Yung iba pa niyan, sinasabit pa nila yung mga Filipino by their thumb.
Aha. Binibitin sa hinlalaki. Sa hinlalaki. Okay.
Binibigti pa nila yung iba for 10 seconds. Hindi pa patay yun. For 10 seconds. So imagine you're being hung for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Marami. May nagsasabi 200,000 lang daw, which is mapakakonti. Meron nagsasabi na almost 1 million. And then there's this one account, it's controversial. Coming from them, from Gore Vidal, who was a famous US novelist writer who also delved into US politics. Tumakbo yatang congressman pero natalo. He was the one who divulged that that US troops from 1898 up to 1913, they have killed more or less 3 million Filipinos. Sobrang dami nun. That number is being contested.
Hindi pa kasama yung flying boaters doon.
Hindi pa.
Hindi pa.
Pero it doesn't matter kung 200,000. It really doesn't matter if 200,000 pinatay nila or 1 million, 3 million, or even 15. Ang importante dito, may pinatay sila eh. sa Balangiga, yung massacre, yung mga tao.
Of all places. It's Samar White.
2,500 to 50, between 2,500 to 50,000. Yung 50,000 hindi nila pinapaniwalaan yun but 2,500 daw yung mga namatay sa Samar nun. Sa Balangiga. Or no, buong Samar.
Ito na yung howling wilderness.
Howling wilderness. Kasama na yun dun.
10 years old and above, capable of bearing arms. Okay.
For their 11-day period. 1901 yan na, pero may nangyari pang isa ng 1904. They also burned several Samar towns in 1904. So we're just talking about 1901, hindi pa kasama yung 1904. And this is just Samar. Hindi pa kasama dyan yung Batangas, na marami rin pinatay dyan. La Laguna, etc. Almost all, yung sa Abudadjo, sa Mindanao.
Yes, may tanong ka, Mr. Oliver? Wala? Let me ask you, Attorney Mac, you're active with the senior citizen advocacy. Part of diplomacy is the people-to-people relations or exchanges. Don't you think the senior citizens of the Philippines can also touch base with their American counterparts to play an important role in the issue of the Balangiga Bells?
Ang problem sa American, hindi naman very active ang mga senior citizens organizations doon. And it's only in the Philippines where we senior citizens really enjoy this lot of benefits. In America, they don't have a specific law pertaining to the rights of the senior citizens. Of course, as a mga theaters, sometimes they also give discounts, but there's no specific law, unlike in the Philippines, where basic commodities and prime commodities are given discounts for senior citizens, priority lanes, yung mga pagkain natin, other services, meron yan. Kaya I don't know how we, the seniors, could have proper coordination with our fellow senior citizens in America or any part of the world.
Yeah, okay. All right. More questions? There being none, ano po ang inyong mensahe sa ating mga kasama sa media, especially on the issue on the... may pahabol? Ha? Sige, tanong muna, para wala na akong problema.
Ano daw po yung barangay election? Ano pang umiiral na
Ako,
si
yung kaso ni Marcos ang tatanong. Barangay election, wala. As of now, tuloy ang barangay election sa October 26. I think, kasi wala pa ng mga specific law postponing the barangay elections.
Hanggang kailan ba sila dapat maglabas ng ano?
Well, dapat mailabas na yan ng Senate at saka ng lower house so that the President could sign a law postponing the election. Ang magiging problema dyan, the problem there is if aside from postponing the election, itong mga barangay officials will be appointed. Sinasabi nila, parang hindi lang OIC, kundi they will be given this power to appoint new barangay officials. Yun ang magiging contentious issue dyan as to whether or not barangay officials could be appointed in the meantime that the election is suspended or postponed. Because under the Constitution, all these barangay officials must be elected and there is no provision regarding holdover or any appointment of the barangay officials. If they would be allowed to hold over under some existing jurisprudence, if you are a holdover, you are actually a legislative appointee. Yun ang problema dyan. So, kung postponement lang, baka sakaling walang problema at tuloy lang yung mga na-holdover. But if it is postponement with appointment of new barangay officials, I think magkakaroon ng problema dyan. And I think even the father of the local government unit, former Senator Nene Pimentel, is against the appointment of new barangay officials. In ang mga kaso ni Marcos and Robredo, still pending with the Presidential Electoral Tribunal. We had a hearing last July 11, and last July 11, the Supreme Court told us na they are still in the exploratory stage, ang tawag ng Supreme Court, ng PET, exploratory stage on how to proceed with the election protest. Wala pa silang specific area kung saan ilalagay ang mga ballot boxes. They have not yet appointed any revision committees. So hindi pa nila alam kung paano i-retrieve ang mga ballot boxes. They have not yet talked with the local treasurers or local officials who have custody of the ballot boxes. Kaya yung sinasabi ni Mr. Marcos na by September magsisimula na yung bilangan, hindi ko totoo yun. Siguro kung magkakaroon man ng bilangan ng mga balota, baka mga March pa ng 2018 magsimula. Because of the fact that during our oral argument, hiningi ni Mr. Marcos na ma-resolve muna yung first cause of action niya. Anong first cause of action? He questioned the integrity of the entire 2016 automated election system. So, siya nagpatagal noon dahil sa kung i-examine mo yan, you have to examine 92,000 vote counting machines, yung mga consolidation system, yung mga 92,000 security digital cards. So, napakadami na gagawin ng Korte Suprema at matatagalan yung first cause of action pala. So, matagal pa ho yung protest. Sinasabi nga namin, so hindi totoo na kami nagdi-delay. It is because napakadami ng hinihingi ni Mr. Marcos sa tribunal, kaya tumatagal po yung nasabing election protest.
So, attorney, sinasabi ni Bongbong, fake news yun.
Ayoko na sabihin fake news, kundi mali po yun. Mali ang kanyang estimate, nang magkakaroon kagad tayo ng bilangan. No, hindi pa ho matutuloy yan by September. Napakatagal pa. Matagal ho yung aming oral preliminary conference hearing, and even the Supreme Court is still in its exploratory stage or exploratory mission on how to start the collection of ballot boxes and where to store the ballot boxes that they would be retrieving. And it is actually for that reason that my motion to suspend the payment of cash deposit by Vice President Robredo was granted by the Supreme Court. Kaya nga noon dapat magbayad na kami ng balance namin ng cash deposit. And during the preliminary conference, sinabi ko sa Supreme Court na considering that you are still in an exploratory stage, hindi pa natin kung saan ilalagay ang mga ballot boxes, then it is just reasonable and practical that the Vice President be given the chance not to deposit first. Huwag muna kami mag-deposit ng aming mga bayad dahil sa hindi pa naman gagamitin ang nasabing pera. And it was granted by the Presidential Electoral Tribunal.
Thank you. Any message para sa ating mga kabataan, paano masusuri at mapapalalim ang kanilang kaalaman sa kasaysayan?
Well, it cannot, the Philippine youth, all youth of today, lahat ng mga kabataan, they cannot be convinced into delving into Filipino history, no? Kahit anong pilit natin dyan. May mga ilan lang dyan na talagang mapapahilig sa kasaysayan. Even my children, I'm encouraging them to read Filipino history. Hindi talaga sila mahilig eh. May kanya-kanyang hilig yan eh. Pero dun sa mga mahilig talagang malaman yung tunay na kasaysayan natin, then yun lang ang mapapayo ko, just read and read. At saka yun nga kanina sinabi ko kanina, kung mas gusto pa nilang seryoso yung pag-aaral ng kasaysayan, they have to study Spanish. It's really imperative. Kasi I think more than 80 or 90% of our true history is written in that language. When you go to the National Archives, talagang Espanyol lahat ng nandyan, kaunti lang yung English o Frances, talagang puro Kastila. So yun ang, at saka isa pa dyan, they have to get rid of all biases. Well, they might say that I'm biased towards our Spanish advent, but that doesn't matter. Yung talagang kung ano lang, they have to be grounded on primary sources. Tsaka kailangan na rin dyan siguro yung sentido común eh. History is not a trivial thing to begin with. Talagang mas importante to. Sinasabi nga na kakambal to ng politika eh. Politics and history are twins. Kaya hindi to basta-basta na mahilig ako sa history kasi historiador na ako. Actually, in fact, I myself, medyo kinakabahan ako na tawagin yung sarili ko na historian kasi yun nga, wala naman akong degree sa history.
Okay.
Kaya medyo alinlangan din ako sa title na yun.
Alright.
Just gracias.
May sinabi si Congressman Eduardo di na kaya boss, sobrang traffic. Both air and land traffic. We just landed a few minutes ago. We were not allowed to take off as scheduled. So, ito mula Tacloban. Kalalanding lang sa Maynila. So, pag humabol siya rito, tanghalian ang aabutin niya na hindi naman natin sagot. So, meron kaming nilulutong topic for next week. palagay ko hindi pa bugbog yun. May kinalaman sa disiplina. Disiplina ng mga relihiyoso. Okay? How should religious men and women conduct themselves? Yan. Palagay ko yan ang topic natin next week. Be a good boy, be a good girl. So I'd like to thank Attorney Mac for being with us, Kapepe and Secretary Yasay who are with us. Thank you very much for joining us in another episode of our Tapatan sa Aristocrat. Thank you.